The Life of John Hammond. Dr. John Alfred Hammond, or John Parker Hammond in the Trespasser canon, was the CEO and creator of Jurassic Park. He founded the company InGen and the Hammond Foundation. He had at least one daughter, two grandchildren, Tim and Lex Murphy, a sister, as Hammond's nephew had the surname of Ludlow, not Hammond, and a nephew, Peter Ludlow. Welcome to the Amagi 2. In today's video, we're going over the life of John Hammond. Before we begin, we publish a new video every week, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. The Amagi's reach stretches beyond just this channel, so if you're a fan of us, please consider subscribing to our other channels and following us on all our social media. Help us reach our goal of passing 100,000 followers on all our accounts by the end of the year. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Jurassic Park. In the film, John Alfred Hammond is a flamboyant venture capitalist from Scotland, building his fortune in Petticoat Lane, England. He also held parks in Kenya, Costa Rica, and other tropical locations. The only similarities of the film's Hammond to the novel's Hammond are eccentricity and the value for money, but he is not as much of a dark character. While the novel's Hammond is cold, ruthless, and in many ways the stereotypical businessman, in other words, uncaring about people, Machiavellian in his attempts to control his creation, the film's Hammond is affable and kind and is genuinely concerned about the well-being of his grandchildren and the other visitors, as well as his employees at the park. He also cares about his dinosaurs at the same time, but he understands the circumstances when the park fails. The novel's Hammond's personalities are seen instead in Donald Gennaro. The turning point for the film's Hammond is when Ellie Sattler bluntly tells him that he never had control, and that the only thing that matters now is the survival of the people they love. Hammond is visibly struck by Ellie's words and spends the remainder of the film doing whatever he can to make sure that they all survive Jurassic Park. Unlike his novel appearance, John escapes Jurassic Park and agrees with Dr. Grant that the park was a failure and should not be endorsed, though he was understandably depressed about the failure. Jurassic Park the Game. Hammond does not physically appear in Jurassic Park the Game, although his helicopter is briefly seen at the end of Episode 1. In the InGen Field Journal, it is revealed that he had replaced Dr. Laura Sorkin as InGen's lead geneticist with Henry Wu, as Wu's method of combining frog DNA sped up the cloning process. The Lost World Jurassic Park. 4 years after the Isla Nublar incident, an ailing John resides in a mansion. He was fired as CEO of InGen and replaced by his nephew, Peter Ludlow. He had become a naturalist rather than continue being an industrialist. He was seen talking with Ian Malcolm about sending a team to Isla Sorna to document the animals. Ian becomes angry when John revealed that he had allowed his girlfriend Sarah Harding to go to Isla Sorna, but reluctantly goes. He is briefly seen in the San Diego incident CNN broadcast, saying that the dinosaurs should be left alone on Isla Sorna, and ends with Ian's quote, "Life will find a way." Jurassic Park III. Hammond is only mentioned by Dr. Grant in a conference, with the former declaring that he still did not agree with John's original intentions. Death. John Hammond died shortly after the events of the Lost World Jurassic Park. Simon Masrani, CEO of the Masrani Global Corporation and son of Hammond's personal friend Sanjay Masrani, acquired InGen in 1998. In 2005, a new dinosaur theme park opened on Isla Nublar, Jurassic World. 2 decades after the original disaster, John Hammond's dream had finally come true in the form of a new, fully functional dinosaur park. The cloning facility on the island is named after Hammond, Hammond Creation Lab. Ever looking towards the future, his statue stands in the Innovation Center before the entrance to the Hammond Creation Lab, in remembrance of his heart, passion, and imagination. 3 years later, in Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, a portrait of Hammond was seen in the Lockwood Manor. Comics. As CEO of InGen and the head of Jurassic Park, Hammond tours Donald Gennaro around Isla Nublar during the construction of Isla Nublar in an attempt to sway him into his, Hammond's, favor. Gennaro seems unimpressed by everything he witnesses, despite witnessing the birth of the park's first dinosaur, a young Tyrannosaurus. Around this time, he hires Dennis Nedry as one of the park's technicians. In 1993, he invites Drs. Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler to Isla Nublar to receive the opinion of dinosaur experts on his island. In turn, he funds their paleontological dig for 3 years. He leads the guests on a tour through the visitors center, but becomes trapped there when the systems are messed with by Nedry to buy him time to partake in industrial espionage, and in the aftermath as John Ray Arnold attempts to reboot the systems. Eventually, he escapes from the island and appears to be furious at Biosyn, a rival company of InGen, having figured out that it was they who had hired Nedry to sabotage the systems of Jurassic Park and attempt to steal embryos. In turn, Hammond orders some of his men to plant a bomb in a major Biosyn facility, and soon receives a phone call from an enraged Steingarten, head of Biosyn, although he casually shrugs off his opponent's accusations. At the same time, he sends a group of helicopters out to the South American rainforest to find the missing Grant, Sattler, Ian Malcolm, and Robert Muldoon. Shortly afterwards, with reports of a wounded soldier likely having been washed up from Isla Nublar, Hammond hires Grant, Sattler, Muldoon, and Edgar Prather to search the island and find out what the army are doing there and what the green flame mentioned by the injured man was. Novel Canon, Jurassic Park. In the novel Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton, John Alfred Hammond was the arrogant, flamboyant, and idealistic dreamer that discovered the fantastical way to clone extinct animals from blood-sucking insects. He was also the CEO of International Genetic Technologies, Inc., and creator of Jurassic Park. He had little interest in the technicalities of genetic engineering, but great interest in making a profit and progress. His darker side is shown more often, as he is frequently upset with his employees and seems to care more about the safety of his expensive animals. Hammond has drastic mood swings and quickly turns from angered to sympathetic. He was entirely confident that the people of the world would be satisfied with his park in Costa Rica, oblivious to the problems, and that his parks in Europe and Japan would be successful in the following 5 years, earning an annual revenue of over $20 billion a year, more income than any other zoo or theme park in the world. Despite Muldoon telling him there was no way to bring down the Tyrannosaurus Rex, Hammond insisted that his employees should. Later in the novel, Hammond is killed by a pack of Procompsognathus after falling down a hill and breaking his ankle, running from what he thought was the juvenile T-Rex, but was really a recorded Tyrannosaur roar over the park's PA system. Hammond was still adamant till the end that he could create a successful dinosaur theme park, and suffered justice at the hands of his creations. Hammond died at 76 years old in the novel, nearing 77 in the coming months. This meant he would have been born around 1913. Novel Canon, The Lost World. In the second novel, The Lost World, Ian Malcolm briefly reveals the true secrets behind the InGen incident, reviewing Hammond's investment strategies and rise to monetary power. He describes why the park failed and why Site B was guaranteed to be there. According to Ed James, Hammond merely died on a business trip to InGen's island in Costa Rica. Did you enjoy our video? Be sure to check out these other great videos from the Imagi and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.